Hi there, this is Sara Peternell with Family Nutrition Services. I'm just checking in again this week because I have a fun side dish that I'm excited to share with you. Brussels sprouts. These little guys get kind of a bad rap, but honestly, they're really good for you and they're super easy to make. I know a lot of my clients, when I suggest a Brussels sprout, they maybe hearken back to overcooked, boiled, mushy Brussels sprouts from childhood. But thankfully, today we know that we can cook them in a variety of different ways so that they both maintain all of their healthy nutrients, but also taste really good, like good enough for kids to eat, I promise. So the Brussels sprout actually is a member of the cabbage family. Looks like a tiny little cabbage. This family is called the cruciferous or the brassica family. So they have a lot of wonderful benefits when it comes to detoxification. The brassica family, which also includes kale and spinach and broccoli and cauliflower, as well as Brussels sprouts and cabbage, has a lot of potent antioxidants as well as properties that help with our body's natural detoxification system. I go over that in some of the other information that I have on my blog. But what I want to show you is how easy it is to prepare them and cook them for dinner. So these can be a really helpful part of your regular meal prep. Cooked in the oven, this particular way, they only take about 30 to 40 minutes. So I have to let you in on a secret. Right now here in Denver, it is about 5 degrees outside, and my husband is smoking ribs on the smoker outside. That's how we do things here in Denver, I guess, even in the dead of winter. But I thought that Brussels sprouts would go really well with ribs. And just a reminder that you can always sign up to get high quality sustainable meats through ButcherBox. You can find that link on my website under resources. We're having ribs tonight that come from a really great source of pasture raised pork, and we get that at a great price through ButcherBox. Okay, so what I've done here is I've basically taken a packet of washed organic Brussels sprouts, and I've just been cutting off the very end of the stem. Kind of looks like where it attached to the stalk. And then usually I take off the top couple layers of the Brussels sprout, and then I cut it one more time in half. So what I have in my dish here is just a bunch of halved raw Brussels sprouts. Really easy. And then I'm going to put a little sauce on these guys because that is actually what makes this recipe so delicious. A lot of people just roast them with olive oil and salt and pepper, but I kind of like to get creative. And I also like to add a little bit of sweetness because that's what makes my kids want to eat this as well. So in a small mixing dish, I have combined 3 tablespoons of just a plain fruit spread. This is an organic raspberry fruit spread, no added sugar. 3 tablespoons of this, and 1 tablespoon of just a bottled sriracha sauce. This is Sky Valley sriracha sauce, and I like the flavors in here, plus it's gluten-free, which isn't always easy to find. A lot of srirachas are not gluten-free. So 1 tablespoon plus 3 tablespoons, and then 1 tablespoon of just a good olive oil. So that's already in here. I've just been mixing this. If you ever find that it's still a little bit too thick, you can just add a couple of teaspoons of cold water. And the last thing I'm going to add is some freshly grated garlic. I use my microplane every single day. This is a microplane. This is what it looks like. It has all these tiny little holes. It's basically just like a baby grater. And I'm going to take my peeled raw garlic, which I have in my hand right here, and just slide it over the microplane until I get basically a mushy pile of freshly grated raw garlic. Be careful of your fingers as it gets down to the bottom. It didn't even come out on the cutting board, so I'm just going to tap the microplane into my mixing bowl. And then you can see here I'm just stirring the raw garlic into this sauce. Okay, so this is the easy part. You just pour it over the Brussels sprouts. You can hear in the background that my gas oven is already on. I set that to 400 degrees because I like it when Brussels sprouts come out kind of crispy. And also since I'm using olive oil, 400 degrees is the max temp that I like to use with olive oil. So this tends to coat most of the Brussels sprouts. I am going to grab a little spatula here and just toss these guys to coat. so that the sauce gets over all of the different cut up bits in the baking pan. And then after I do that, I'm going to add a little bit of fresh ground pepper and a pinch of sea salt just to kind of help bring out the flavor a little bit more. So this is my little pepper grinder and then a pinch of sea salt, and these guys are ready to go into the oven. So easy, sweet and sour and a little bit spicy. They come out nice and crispy, delicious, so healthy, so good for you. I promise this is a meal that everyone in your family will love, even the kids. So give it a try. Hope this helps out your family meals for the week, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.